We had we had 6 a.m. hills on Fridays.
6 a.m. hills?
Yes, on Fridays, bruh.
Nah.
That was the most dreaded practice of like every week. And
That's
it was
crazy.
it was rough. Like you started off with like 10 hills, and then like I'm a sprinter.
Mhm.
So I ended the year with like, or I ended like hills with like 20 something hills. So like the middle distance and like, so like 800 to like 6 steeplechase kind of guys, they ended up with like 30 some hills.
Damn.
And like my first year I had 8 a.m. math class, college algebra. I ended up dropping because I went to 6 a.m. hills. I showered, got in my bed, and that was it, bro. Like, that was it, bro. I did not go to that class. I went to that class like 3 times, bro. I'm like, I can't do this. I gotta figure something out.
Damn.
Yeah.
So did the NCAA level, like, was it a shock to you? Let's say,
Yes and no.
not really the level at the meets, but right now, like at practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a shock to me. Because I'm not knowing how to manage like recovery and like, cause you pretty much train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, you do your own thing. But, when you get into competition, you train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, compete on Saturday, some type of recovery workout on Sunday, and then back to training on Monday. So it's pretty much like 6 days of like training. And then you lift like 3 times a week and usually lift after practice. When you're in season, you lift like 2 times a week, but still after practice. So like you just kill yourself on the track and you go lift. That was like the biggest shock to me. That was like, that was rough. And that first semester, or like my first collegiate meet ever, I ran 8:37, which at the time put me top 5 in the conference.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, like, you know, I might have a shot at like doing decent, like going to conference and like doing well my first year, like coming top 8, making the finals. So I was like, okay, like I have a shot at that. But, yeah, after that point, I just got injuries after injuries. I strained both my hamstrings.
Both?
I sprained my ankle twice. I burst like some bursa sacs in my knee. So that had me out for like a month. I couldn't like run or walk too well. I was on crutches twice my first year. I remember that. So I was just like, I didn't go to indoor conference, and then for outdoor conference, I showed up injured and I finished like 14th or 15th. And I was like, oof.
Out of how many?
Out of probably, I'm guessing 2 heats of 8, so 16 people. So like I was like second last, you know, third last, and I was like, after that year, I was like, yeah, my scholarship's probably gone. Like, you know, like I'm about to figure something out. Like, I'm about to be done with track. I was just gonna like be done. But my coach was like, nah, like, you know, he believed in me. He saw like something as throughout that year, all we were training. He saw like my potential, what I could be. So, crazy enough, he gave me back my scholarship next year. I was like, dang. Yeah, so I'm super grateful for that. Because that let me know like he really like believed in me as a coach, which is important as an athlete to know like your coach really believes in you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
I think ultimately it helps your confidence in yourself, because I guess you go through these injuries and you kind of know what level you could compete at, but at the same time you're like, can I really do this? Like, and you, even though you factor in injuries, you still look at the results as they are, right?
Right,
so
exactly.
I'm guessing having your coach really believe in you, had you coming in your sophomore year, like, all right, like, let's start from 0 again and then work my way up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, because of that too, like, because I was doing so poorly in track, like, my school was suffering because, like, emotionally, like, I wasn't doing good. Because I was, like, kind of, I don't know if I'll say depressed, but I was, like, super down. And, you know, I'm, like, injured. I'm on crutches. It's, like, minus 30 Fahrenheit. And I got a crutch to class across campus. I'm just, like,
Is that your first time you're really thinking about your mental health?
Yes. Was first track-wise. Junior year was the first time I was nationally ranked in NCAA, which was pretty huge for me.
Damn.
I think I was ranked like 42 in the country in my event, either 60 hurdles or the 110 hurdles. And I was like, okay, like I have something going here. And indoor conference, I finished third in the hurdles, the 60 hurdles. And then outdoor conference, I finished, I want to say I finished top 3 outdoor as well. Well, I don't really remember, but I think I finished top 3 outdoor as well. So it was like a really good year. I ended up going, oh no, I didn't finish top 3. Outdoor conference, I fell. I crashed on like the second last hurdle.
Damn.
And that was devastating.
Is that the first time you ever crashed during an event? In the collegiate level?
Yeah, it was the first time I ever, no, that was the second time. The first time I did, I was when I burst the sacs in my knee because I landed on my knee. Yeah. And then, yeah, so the second time, like, was at conference. I was like, dang, because I was disappointed about that, I remember, because that was the year since I nationally qualified. We have like a trip to California that our team goes on. And like, if you nationally qualify in the, indoor season, you get to go. And it's in like March or April.
Only one athlete has to qualify, or everybody has to qualify? California, or be nationally ranked?
Oh yeah, to go to California, you have to be nationally ranked.
Is it only one athlete, or the whole team has to be?
No, like anyone that's going has to be individually.
So you're individually,
right,
okay,
right, yeah, going individually. I mean, there was some like, controversy about that because some athletes hadn't been individually nationally ranked, but they might have been part of a relay or something. So it was like, how like team politics works. Everyone talks crap. But yeah.
I was like, you don't deserve to be
here. Yeah, exactly. But I went to Cali that year, my junior year, and I PB'd, and I was ranked top 4 in the conference at that point. So I was really excited going into conference because I was like, this might be my shot to make to nationals. Because our conference, Northern Sun, our NSIC, was the hardest. I think it was the hardest Division II conference in track and field, if not like maybe top 3. So it was like one of like the SEC of like D2 track, like for conference wise. Because like if you came top 3 in our conference meet, you usually came like top 3 at nationals.
Oh,
for like
crazy.
Sprints, jumps, most of those events. So it was like, it's pretty much like, the most competitive you're going to get. So I was like, I was super excited, but then I ended up crashing out. I was disappointed, blah, blah, blah. But, I think all those failures pushed me to keep doing track.
So you have the Tokyo Summer Olympics coming up this summer.
Yep.
How do you, obviously the goal is obviously to make it there, but what are the steps really to even getting there, getting to the trials, the Olympic trials, and how do you prepare yourself for such a big moment probably in your life?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is just making a decision and figuring out, okay, like if that's something you want to do, do you really want to do it? Because it's going to take, most likely more than you've ever given before, more effort you've ever, put forth to the specific thing, maybe even anything in your life. But, so you train for trials, which, Canadian trials are in June, I believe. Yeah, I think they're in June. And, you just got to make a training plan. Ideally a coach that's, been at the national level and hopefully international level, because that's where you're trying to go. So you want to have a coach that can take you there.
I'm guessing you've already chosen your coach, or?
Well, at this point I had 3 coaches to choose from before I went to school. Now I have 2. I narrowed it down to 2 people. So I still have to make a decision on the coaching. I'm going to meet both of them hopefully this week, kind of figure it out. But, so figure that out and then train for trials in June and then see what happens. Because it's always a toss up in sports. It's always like a gamble. Like, you put forth your best effort, but anything could happen.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So you have those, and how do those trials even work? Are you just going there and doing one event, or are you gonna do hurdles and 100-meter? Like, what are you gonna do?
So at least for me personally, I'm only going to do one event, and at this level, most people usually do one event. I mean, there's some like track athletes that'll do like two events, but it's just the Olympics is such like a highly regarded event. It's almost like a soccer player, like say you're a keeper. It's like, are you always also going to play defense? It's like, I'm just going to focus on just being a keeper for this World Cup match because this is my focus needs to be. So it's pretty focused and like concentrated effort into like one specific thing.
And one more question: how do you actually tell yourself like I can be competing at this level? Like, do you see where your record's at, like where you're right now, which the events you want to go into? Do you look at the competition you're probably going to face in the Olympic trials? Like, how do you gauge like, okay, yeah, I'm going to make this decision and go there and then know that I'm capable of even competing?
In terms of knowing that you're capable, I think for me personally, it was last year that was kind of like the turning point or key moment for me, because like I kind of like reflected on it, and you know, when I first went to my first nationals, I finished 15th. Last year I finished 4th. So I just saw like the progression and the growth in like a relatively short amount of time. Yeah, because I feel most people have been running and training seriously a lot longer than I have. So I just feel like, okay, like if I'm able to make this progress, like I just feel like it, you know, because you'd be crazy if I told you I was getting a collegiate scholarship when I first started training, you'd be like, sorry, bro, like you don't have to like,
I was like, this guy's terrible.
I have to find something else, bro. Like I appreciate it, but like, yeah, so you know, like there's always doubt, there's always uncertainty, but you know, no one's done it until they do it, and no one does it if they don't try. So you just have to, you know, it's like a toss up. You roll the dice, see what happens, see where they land.